The new Hunter Vanguard is going through it. He's up against a new Scorn army, an undead abomination that calls him father, and now the power of an echo. Things are different this time though. The story continues next week with a new act, but loretabs explain how deep this really gets behind the scenes. Welcome Guardians, let's take a look. Thus far, we've seen how Crow is involved with the quest and this story. He assists the Guardian in bringing Aramis to the helm. It's here where the drama begins as Fikrul jumps in and causes some chaos.
I bring a gift. A power to make all Elixir our children.
In a mission not long after that, Fikrul still believes that Crow is Aldrin, his father. But when Crow essentially tells the undead Kel to stand down, Fikrul does not like that.
You don't have to do any of this. Please.
This is our purpose. Your teachings. To break their servitors, their lies, their trust in light.
Crow's first real job as Hunter Vanguard is to deal with Fikrul and the past occurrences that went down in Forsaken. A corrupted Aldrin Sov killed Cade back then. Cade returned in the final shape and bonded with Crow in some nice moments, willingly passing the torch of the Hunter Vanguard even though it's been, gone for a while. Before we jump into Act 2 next week, I wanted to focus on some loretabs from Revenant that we haven't talked about yet. These ones specifically focus on Crow, his feelings towards this Revenant mess, and what his sister Mara has to say about this. Let's first take a look at the Vantage Point lore card, where Crow discusses the Echo with Lord Saladin while they play a board game of sorts. Crow sat with his head in his hands, elbows resting against his knees. I don't know, sometimes I feel like things were easier with the witness. Across the board, Saladin choked on his drink, nearly spitting it over the table. Crow rolled his eyes. You know that's not what I meant. I hope not, or we're about to have a much different conversation, Saladin retorted. At the end of the day, the witness was something we could label, identify. A being unified in a very specific purpose. And when it was defeated, it was over. Done, we could move on. Crow posited. He placed a stone on the board and Saladin quickly countered, expanding his territory. From the reports I've read, these echoes are different, Saladin offered. Exactly. We have no idea how many there actually are, what they want, or why. They're impossible to anticipate, Crow said. Tell me, have you ever faced down an enemy that exhibited no patterns? No purpose, no strategy? Saladin asked, patiently watching Crow. No. But the idea of punching wildly at shadows doesn't sit well with me either. How do you defeat something like that? Crow replied. He made his move and grimaced with instant regret. Sometimes victory is less about winning and more about not losing, Saladin said. A matter of intent and perspective, Crow finished, his focus suddenly on the stone in his hand. So this card goes deep on several levels. On one side of it we have Crow deciphering what the echoes are and how to possibly stop it. We know he's going to have to confront Fikrul in some type of final showdown. The two met in Act 1, but that didn't really smooth things over at all, and Crow says it's a matter of perspective. Another aspect of this card I thought interesting was the relationship between Saladin and Crow. If you remember back during Season of the Arisen, I believe, things weren't the greatest between the two. But in the end, Saladin stuck up for Crow and ended up joining Empress Kaido's team.
What have you done?
I shut it down. I didn't know it would kill the Scion. Zavala. You can't...
Not a word.
So it's nice to see after all these years these two have a nice relationship, and it hasn't kind of soured over since those events. In the Rhymecoat Raiment lore, Queen Marasov returns. She had some parts to play in the final shape, opening the portal, some quest dialogue, and through some of the missions, but here she is now in Revenant discussing with her brother about these current events and hope for the future. Not for the first time, Mara finds Crow sitting in the rafters of her court, watching the clockwork creatures through the high windows. "You wish to speak with me?" She does not wait for him to come down, but joins him in the eyrie. "How can you bear to see them cursed, knowing there's nothing you can do?" Mara considers this. The impossibility of any situation is flexible if you know where to look. Her brother's defeated sigh mirrors her own frustrations. "You're not wrong. It's heartbreaking to see those in your charge suffer." Up close, Mara can see how light and time have reshaped him. Crow fidgets with a strand of his new cloak. Ido is no closer to a cure, though she would never admit it. We have nothing but dead ends and ticking clocks. "Do you suspect she will do something reckless?" she asks. "I've seen love drive people to extremes, break any law, fight any battle, just for a glimpse of hope. Sometimes, hope is enough." Mara watches the battle play out below them, as it has countless times before. Sometimes, hope is all a leader can offer. Actions may build a bridge, but it is hope that drives us to cross to the other side. The cycle continues around them, a still point in the center of a whirling, recurring dream. For a moment, their duties wait. So in a time of need, Crow turns to his sister Mara, or rather Mara approaches and gives some advice. Aldrin Sov was super devoted to his sister, but when he died and became Crow and Crow learned of the past and how Mara essentially used him, that relationship wasn't necessarily the best either. But over time, as Crow has evolved and learned, he's become closer to Mara. And in moments like these, it really shows the bond between the two characters, even through all the defeats and triumphs they've been through. But anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. How is Crow going to deal with Fikrul throughout this episode? And is he truly ready to take on some of these bigger challenges as he's now the Hunter Vanguard? If you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.